happening, everybody? Very, very cold out there. That's all I can say.
Welcome. Frequency mode. 11972.
Airband. So I've got my other little black radio back. The Quanchang. The Quanchang UVK5. Get airband on this one. Obviously we got H8 TID radio. Anyway. What I'm going to put on at the moment is this. Boom. Yeah.
The noise that you'll be able to hear moving out of the sound system. I mean, the lights are flashing as well. It's a big old light show. They've actually illuminated the goalposts as well. So as they flash, they look like two giant lightsabers.
The Nations League over the weekend. England take on Finland tomorrow. It's live on TalkSport. Ahead of this game, and who is joined by the England defender Mark Gurhey. But first, he was asked about fitness issues ahead of the game.
Well, so it's team news. Harry Kane and Jack Grealish both trained this morning. Will they be fit to start? And will Kyle Walker get some minutes for the first time?
Got to plug my charger in.
Yeah, we trained yesterday as well. So Harry and Jack both got through the session. So yeah, we're in a good position.
So my mate's just going to have his dinner. He's going to give me a call.
But yeah, we feel confident we're in a good place.
Thursday was a difficult night. What have you learned from that defeat, and how have you, on a personal level, found the extra scrutiny?
Well, I think it's always tough, the scrutiny that we're under. You know, ourselves, it's nothing that I'm not used to. Having been a professional footballer for such a long time.
Another TID radio.
I think it's, you know, you have to respect people's opinions. We didn't perform as well as we can on the night, and I would expect a reaction tomorrow night.
Mark, Lee's worked with a lot of the players before. I just wonder how has the squad reacted to the defeat, and is there a feeling within the group that you want to put this right for Lee?
Yeah, I think it's important that we put things into perspective.
Loads of radios that now.
Loads of senior players in the team. Players in the team have dealt with defeats and difficult moments. So I think everyone's just rallied together and made sure that, you know, tomorrow we can go and get a reaction tomorrow.
Hi, Lee. A lot's been made of the team you named the other night without a striker.
Alright.
Going to play with a forward tomorrow night.
Yeah, I think it's I think it's something that I'll look back on in maybe 2 or 3 months and you know, be better for it. I wanted to give this job my best shot for the 3 camps.
Fine tuner on the end.
Welcome. Frequency mode.
see this. What one's that then? One of these is the squelch. It's not that one, that's the lock. Is it? No, that's the power. Oh no, that's the equalizer. That's it.
A változásnak indult a háború lezárásával.
With a victory over Sri Lanka.
And try and get a reaction.
So Lee Carsley and Mark Gurley speaking ahead of England's trip to Finland tomorrow. You'll hear it live on TalkSport, and Mark Gurley expected to start tomorrow against Finland. Adrian Durham will host the coverage tomorrow with Jim Proudfoot and Stuart Pearce, as always, our England team, from 5 o'clock tomorrow right here on TalkSport. If you go down about tomorrow, download the TalkSport app, you can take us with you and listen to us on the move. Adrian, Jim and Stuart hoping that England can bounce back from that disappointment over Greece on Thursday night. Right,
Quick spliff, I think.
approaching the end of the first
Saturday night spliff.
time here. Paul Cook alongside us. That's playing the grand final with Hull here at
Got some nice stuff that my friend's grown.
that Rovers dressing room now, because this is a big occasion.
Some nice buds. Some nice weed actually.
I think Willie Peters will want better ends to set. I think he'll want them to throw more at Wigan in the mid-side of the field. You know, when they get down the other end inside the 20, they've thrown a little bit of shape at Wigan towards the end of the half. But they've not thrown too much at them in the midfield, where Bevan French scores from a midfield.
Got my energy drinks in for tonight.
Wigan, I think it's just sort of relaxed a little bit in that part of the field, so I think he'll want them to throw more at them. I don't think they've had too much of an issue defensively. They've just had one slip, and that one slip games means
In fact, I might open one of them.
ruthless nature of the top two playing in a big game.
Craig, Wigan have got the big moment strike. You said just before the break you feel that Rovers are not out of it yet. What will Matty Pete on who have been sent to his side to make sure that Rovers are out of it?
Tobacco. Put a bit more in the pouch.
Little plays right, defending strong, to win the game, but I think Rovers will throw a lot more at them in the second half. I think we're in for a game, but I think Paul alluded to it. Hawkeye has to score first.
What's this, rugby?
First in the second half, and it's game over with 3 scores. In the grand final against Wigan, is it going to happen?
Wigan.
Well, we're about to
Rugby league. Boxing. Going to be watching the boxing later. Alright, it's on the radio after this.
On show tonight, well worth following all the action from Riyadh here with us on TalkSport. Waiting the two teams to come out. Well, Hooker have come out a little bit early here. We're awaiting Wigan.
Evening, Joe. You've got the right idea, mate.
To our left here, the Stretford end.
Get them Rizzlers out. That's what I reckon.
Can Hooker turn it around?
It's quite nippy out there. It's going to take my other tent down tonight. But I might even dive in the tent later, see what's happening.
Then they are game on. They've just got to improve that last tackle.
Might even go out camping next weekend.
Feeling that first half.
Test it out in the winter.
We talk about it, those small margins, doing those little things right. And Robert's best opportunities have come on the back of kicks across to the corner, so it's strange why they haven't been doing that, isn't it? So you would expect them to be asking some more questions of Wigan's backfield in the second half.
Will that be the case? Can Wigan pull them through even further? We're just watching Matty Pete making his way back up to his coaching position. He looks
I've got to try and find.
He's been here, seen it, done it before. Can the Robins find something?
So I haven't used this radio for quite a while. My mates had it.
They need something
I forgot how you bloody...
to this, and at one point, wouldn't seem a lot, but it'll feel massive.
It'll be a
I thought it had a USB socket straight in it.
As Craig said, we don't
Um,
too many tries in big games anyway. Wigan, two's not insurmountable, but three, I
Maybe
think,
not.
probably is.
Yeah. Well, Wigan did concede a try in the grand
I've obviously got
against Catalan. Are they about to repeat the feat?
a desktop charger, I think, that this goes in.
Calling it before
This
it
one.
happens. If you were Hooker and you got a chance to kick a goal early in the half, would you take it?
This is a Quoshang UV-K5. Which was the first radio I kind of got. Obviously then I've progressed to the TID Radio H3. H8 rather. Yeah, I could do a stealth one.
Taking the Stretford end away to our left-hand side.
Been faultless, Wigan.
To be honest, where I am, I'm right in the countryside, so
I think the nearest they've come, it obviously
I might do it. Well, I might name it illegal wild camping because that's what people are doing in England.
Hadley knocked on, wasn't there? That was
Yeah.
a scratchy pass in the middle of the field. But other than that, they've got to the end of every set, and Harry Smith kicked the ball accurately.
I can walk about 10-minute walk, and I'm literally in the woods, whatever way I go. But because I've lived in this village sort of all my life, I know some good little spots right out in the sticks.
40 minutes left in the season. 40 minutes left.
So basically, I go in the middle of nowhere.
Head knock earlier on, hitting, rearing and carrying the ball up to the 40. Plays it.
Yeah.
Here now is Smith. Has to step away from 1-2.
Yeah, I see the stealth campers.
Kick downfield and
Get myself a load of bottles of beer and do a stealth camp.
20.
That's all they seem to do, man.
They've got some pressure on
Plot up somewhere, get the beers out.
I mean, he's been put under pressure. Michael Lewis.
Yeah, mate. None of them are on the weed, though, are they? I'll probably be the first one on the weed.
ball over on the far side.
Um,
Have it. And again, Wigan dragging over the side or towards the sideline. 35 out from the Robbins line. Their fans are quiet. They're nervous. Down the end of the ground.
What we got here, then?
Held on to it.
Lucasade alert. Yeah, mate. Definitely.
Full Kingston Rovers
I don't drink, you see, so
work their way back into it. Of course they're in
when they all pull out their beers, I can pull out my weed.
but it's better to be in front.
That'd probably appeal to a lot of people. Do you know what I mean? All the weed heads.
Better run. Gets them over half.
Get the munchies and that. We'll have a little cook up.
Ball down the short side. Lewis gets
Anyway, I got one of these monster punches.
Flicks across to the post. Catches it right
I got
on
two
the
of them now.
It's a good kick, needs a good
Got
chase.
one of them.
They got to him and they get half of it.
And what we got here? Got one of these cheap ones. One of these cheap ones that cost £1, which tastes exactly the same as Red Bull, guys. Happy Shopper energy drink. Tastes the same as Red Bull.
Wigan with Miskey
Weed is the way forward, indeed.
off the line.
Should be legal, really. Well, it is, kind of.
Wigan just happy to do the hard work, the unfancied stuff, the unfashionable stuff. But it gets
What have
the
I got
job
on here
done.
then? The rugby or
Nice play
something?
tonight.
So I'm not really a rugby man.
High, crowd of nearly
I'm a football man.
Taking in the
Um,
atmosphere, they're on the edge of their seat. Thank you for joining us on Talk Sport tonight. As
Liverpool.
Smith this time gets the kick away. Eccles
But my mum, she's Everton though. She's born in Liverpool. That's why I support Liverpool, guys. You might think, why does he support Liverpool? Because I've got Scouse blood.
One thing we do know about Niall Eccles, you give him an inch, he could
My dad was born in the village here, same as me. But
there to be won.
my mum, she's from Liverpool.
Lewis is asking for a quicker play of the ball.
That's the one who made the records and stuff.
Started the season at Castleford.
Castleford, yeah, this is rugby, isn't it?
That looked like a bit of messing about play of the ball. Ball carried forward here.
Zaleski.
When you look at her career, she is sort of positioning herself to be
Got no copyright on that kind of music. I do get hit by copyright. I had somebody once commented you'll get a copyright for that. I'm a music channel. I do get it with copyrights, but the specials let me play their music. So the Madness. The only one I've been pulled up on properly is when I play anything by the beat that's the other beat, not Rankin Rogers beat, the guy in America. Can't think of his name. He was in the beat. And then some of them don't even get pulled out at all. But obviously with a music channel, it's a bit different. Yeah, what else can I play? My mum's music. I've actually got rights to play my mum's music. That's from EMI, Parlophone. Basically, when I've got this is going to sound crazy. I've got like an engineer at Abbey Road Studios in London. And that's where my mum recorded. So all my mum's music is in Abbey Road's vaults. And my mum recorded at Abbey Road long before the Beatles, long before Oasis or Robbie Williams or any of them people. My mum was there in the 50s recording. So long before then. Anyway, what are we up to here? 91% on the charge. So I'm just charging my phone. Obviously doing a lot of lives, it kind of eats your battery, but I've got a fast charger, so it ain't too bad. Just going to tune this one in.
Welcome.
446. That's what I need, that. Yeah. So these are PMR channels, which are free to use. In America, the 446 here would be a GMRS channel, which you'd actually need a license for, I believe. But in Britain, the 446 frequency is like general allocation for anybody to talk on. So you go and buy a couple of walkie-talkies from a shop. You don't need to buy a license, but they will transmit around the 446 frequency. You often hear kids and that shouting and whatnot. But in fact, I think I've made a video trying to warn the mums out there that buy their kids walkie-talkies, they think it's just the two walkie-talkies that are connected, when in reality, I can listen in, I can butt in and talk to them kids. Not that I've ever done that. Or would ever be into that, but you get the paedophiles, they could use that, and I've put warnings out before about that. But yeah, that's the PMR channels, the 446. I believe there's about 20 channels allocated to 446, but the reason I'm on this frequency is every night there's about 10 or 12 of us on various nights that get on this channel here, just talking about whatever, the weather or anything. But obviously this radio goes everywhere. It goes, we can go to the hand bands. You can go 1, 3, 9.
5, 5, 5.
You can go right down low. You can scan it. Just press that. It will scan.
Scanning begin.
Scan through. As soon as that hits anything, it will come out on the speaker. I've often picked up farmers. You can also picked up something then. Electronics it might pick up as well. You also get, you can't get the, I get asked quite a bit, can you get the police on there? all my other radios and that. Can you get the police on that? You can't get the police anymore. They use what's called Tetra, I believe, which is a digitally encoded system. When I was a kid, you could just pick up any radio, tune right to the right-hand side of the dial, and you could pick up the old bill. You could hear them. I used to lay in bed at night listening to them. It wasn't illegal to listen to back in the 70s and the 80s. It was just illegal to act on what you heard. So if you were in bed at like 12:30 at night or whatever, 1 in the morning, and you're listening to the police, and suddenly you hear, yeah, we're going round, they're coming round your mate's house, and they're all getting ready, and you can hear them all getting ready. They're giving out the address where your pal lives. If you was to go around your pals and tip him off, so wait, I've just heard on the radio the police are coming to you now, you could then get arrested, if you get me. But now it's all digitally encrypted. The only way you can actually listen to the police in Britain, which in America now it's a lot different, you can listen to all of that. In Australia you can listen to. In Britain, the only way you can really listen to the police is to steal one of their radios out of their cars, or put a radio off at an officer and run off or whatever, which has been done before. But then all they do then, each radio's unique, and what they do then, it'll work until that copper gets on the other radio and says, right, I've just had my radio nicked, defunk that radio. Then all they do down their end is go bang, bang, bang. Then that radio that you've nicked just goes dead. But yeah, that's how it works now. What you can pick up though on these is airplanes. You can pick up the fire. You'll often find when there's a big fire, you'll get the chief, the fire chief. I think he's got a white helmet. He turns up, and all that's done on these kind of radios, so you can listen to the fire and whatnot, the fireman. You can also listen to, you get like shop watch in a lot of cities and towns, where you get like a shopping centre, and if the thieves go in one shop, they go, right, we've just took him out of there, he's now coming out, and you can pick up all of that. So if you're a thief, you have one of these in your ear holes and go shoplifting. That's what you'd do if you were clever, or if you know anything about radios like I do, but not that I'm going out shoplifting at the moment. What else is there? So I'm waffling on about my radios, but it's quite interesting. And I do have them on here a lot, and I do get asked a lot of questions. Also, when people go missing, I don't know if you've seen it in your area, when someone goes missing, they get like it's not the police, it's like a proper search party that come out and search all the rivers and all that. That all happens on here. There's a lot of action on there. Last week I was just scanning. What I'll do during the day, I often just set it on scan. And a lot of farm, obviously, because I live in a farming village, farming community, I pick up all the farms. A lot of Polish people, a lot of foreigners. Obviously, they work on a lot of the Kent farms. Yeah. Criminals as well.
Welcome.
Could use these. On the Quanshang, and on that one, I've got a scrambler feature. So what I can do, say you wanted to do something naughty with somebody, you was out doing a bit of naughty work or whatever, you'd hit the scrambler, you get on a frequency, you then hit the scrambler. Do the same with that one. And then anybody that picks you up, it's just going to get a scrambled load of noise. Not that there aren't things out there that can unscramble you. Like everything, like computers. I mean, nothing's secure really. It's like the internet. The internet wasn't made to be secure. Yet we're all doing our banking and that on it, which is quite crazy. But yeah, quite handy things to have. You can also reprogram them completely, which is been a bit of a game changer. But this is a normal sort of HF radio. But this one here is what they call a second generation radio, which is, you got Bluetooth look on this as well. I've got automatic, hit that, you get a Bluetooth. And what I can do from my phone, I can open up a program on my phone, put any frequency at all on Bluetooth in it, program it via Bluetooth. There's no wires, whereas this one hasn't got Bluetooth. So you've got to then put a special cable in it. I've got downstairs a programming cable, which goes in here, which then you connect to your PC, which then you can update the firmware and all that on it. But yeah, and that's only 5 watts, which most of the little radios are 5 watts, but this one is 10 watts, so you're poking out. To be honest, these have been registered at 12 or 13 watts. They're quite powerful for what they are. In fact, they're extremely powerful. You get your Baofengs and all that. This is up there with them. In fact, the reports on this are really good.
Menu.
Got a menu, look, you got everything. You got a Roger beep. I'll just put the beep on so you can hear it. There we go, look, Roger.
Confirm.
Turn one of these other radios on. What are we on there? 140. 140, 168.
1, 4, 0, 1, 6, 8.
As you can see there, I'm keying up with the one on the right hand side. You'll see a red light, which is called a TX light, which is transmit. And then that green one is called an RX light, which is receive. And on there, we get the beep. There's your Roger. 1, 2, 3. And these radios, they've just been praised again. I see another bit in the paper, well, online article today. I don't know if you've all seen the storms that are sweeping across America and the Caribbean. Well, when all the internet and all the phone lines go down, these little babies will still work. See, when the world's going to end, no, when all the lights go out, these are still going. So it's a very good way of communicating. Well, it's the only way of communicating, because you can't really knock these out. Do you know what I mean? Whereas obviously the mobile phone infrastructure, transmitters and whatnot, will just be blown over and put out when the power goes out. But with these, you're alive as long as you got your battery full. But to be honest, you can get, in fact, I'm going to be buying it. Obviously I buy quite expensive radios. You see me big new one, which is nearly 200 quid, that mad one. Well, I'm going to focus on the other end of the line as well. So what I'm going to do next week, I'm going to be buying, right, guys? Because obviously people might see my radios and think, yeah, I'll get one of them. And obviously I don't just get expensive ones. So I'm going to buy a cheap one, right, for £33, right? And let me tell you what this radio does for £33. It's a radio, all band. It's a light. It's a power bank. And it's also got solar panels on it. And it's about that big. And it's also wind up. So when the power goes out, you could, in theory, connect this to that and then wind it up. But anyway, I'm going to buy one just to show the different what you can get out there for your money. And the one I'll be getting next week is just, I recommend it to anybody out there. Even if you're not into radios, it's good to have one for a power cut, anything like that. Or to be honest, it's quite good to have it for a power bank. Obviously, you can charge things up for nothing where it's solar. And to be honest, I've never seen a little radio like it. They're coming out with some real crazy radios nowadays. But one of my favourites are obviously my big one. This one is another good one, the AT. This is a decoder. This is got touch screen. And this is basically FM, everything. Digital signal receiver. Turn that on. Boom. Yeah, there you go, look. Got all the bands on here. CB. Oh. If you go to band, medium wave, long wave, you've got the CB bands. That should be 27 megs if you go to the, you've got the hand bands. So I'll scoot along with this tuner. Got no antenna in this at the minute, guys. But yeah, this is a good little radio. I'll put an antenna in it quickly, just to show you. Where's that long one? So I've got a long stick antenna. What we do now is stick it on FM, shall we? Which is outside. We hit that and then hit FM. Radio Kent, where's that? Got RDS as well on here.
Did he have an influence directly at the time? How much time did you spend with him as a child?
Yeah, so I didn't spend a huge amount of time with
Got
him.
everything on here.
The time that we did spend together was always, once again, about music and art. Always. Greenwich Village had a lot of...
Goes quite loud as well. We just do a little volume.
So you would go into one store that specialized in Indian ethnic instruments. So we'd stop in there and my father would get on the tabla.
Can also go...
When did you first start playing music yourself? And was it your father who was encouraging you?
My father, yes, absolutely. My biological father.
CB band. You can also then go to side bands, lower side band. Upper side band. AM. And then you've got CW, and what CW is Morse code. That's your Morse code where you get all your CW. Wow, I've been on here a while, but gassing away. Bit of a radio one I'm going on now, but yeah. You can pick that up for about, I don't know what this is in dollars, guys, or whatever, but you can pick one of these up for about 40 or 50 quid now. It's USB powered, so it charges by a USB input. Yeah, you can then go up in the range a bit. You can get one of these. You'll be paying you'll be paying about £80, £79 for one of these. You can record on this. You can do all sorts on this. And this, the sound on this is immense. It's got a bass speaker, graphic equalizer. Check them lights out at the back, guys. They change colour. You watch. That's what I like about this radio. Got a little light show on the back. That's what you're looking at there, look. Bluetooth, airbag. Yeah, what I quite like about this is this old school dial. Look, you got this old school. What this is say you're on FM, for example, you've got this at the end here, which is a fine tuner. You'll see the digits on the end change where it's a fine tuner.
I don't. Like you do.
Or you grab that, which you can literally move along as quick as that.
That tune is absolute flames, but it's not chosen by me, it's chosen by tonight's party starter. His name is Jelani Blackman, and he chose this.
Yeah, got a very good, very bassy, got a special speaker in that one. This is like a power bass speaker, totally sealed in, that is. And it's an active speaker. Probably find these for, might find one for 70 quid. Is it worth it? You know. Don't know.
Suguni, we.
Oh, it's also got a brilliant torch on it. It's ideal for camping. Obviously, I do a lot of camping, so which is why I've got these ones, which is kind of see-through. Obviously, more illumination when I'm camping, rather than the jet black one. But yeah, this is pretty good. It's lithium battery goes in there. TF card in there. You've got headphones line in and out, auxiliary. You can control, basically, I'll turn it on. It's also remote control from my phone. I can remotely control it. You've got Bluetooth right there. Or we plug it in a PC. Yeah, I can control all of these lights, these two lights here. I can turn them on or off, or the same as the signal meter there. Anyway, Still some people there. Look, someone's interested in radios anyway. But anyway, yeah. What can you pick up on them? On FM, you'll pick up all your normal stuff. Radio 1, Radio 2, all your local stuff. But you start getting on the short wave and the long wave. You're picking up America. You're picking up... I'm getting stuff that can't even work out where they're from coming in. Yeah, quite an interesting little radio, that one. Looks kind of military. I do like the designs. Some people say they don't like the design of this. I actually like the design. What's the aeroplane sign at the bottom? Good question, Joe. What it is, my friend, is... I'll zoom in on it. Boom. What that says is... Aircraft multi-band radio Bluetooth music player. What that basically means is if we put the antenna up, which I've just put down, if you go onto here, it means it's got airband on it. If we go to here, look, you'll see FM, VHF, medium wave, short wave, and you get your airband. Your airband goes from 118 right up into that. That's all your aeroplanes in the skies. That's everywhere. If I go to 119, and you've got to fine tune it there and go to 725, that actually gets me Heathrow Airport approach. Get the ground crew, yeah, Heathrow. Hang on, I'll show you in a second. 725. But on here, also on this Quanchang, this one's also got airband.
Welcome, frequency mode.
Which is that one at the top there is airband. The airband's on. See, this is these are like FM radios, but the airband, it has to come through on the AM. Yeah, I've got all the frequencies. I'll have to post them one day. I've got all the frequencies for all the airports in the country. So Liverpool, Swans, everywhere. But yeah, if I go to in my area, I'm about 25-30 miles away from Dover, and I'm about 35 miles south, well, 35 miles southeast of London. So I can pick up Heathrow Airport. If I had a bigger antenna, I'd probably get all the London ones. There's another London, Stansted Airport. But what you get is all the planes coming in. What I'm tuned to there, the 119725 frequency, is Heathrow Airport approach. So anybody that's coming into Heathrow, be it on Jamaica Airlines, be it on Singapore Airlines, be it wherever in the world, they'll come through. Yeah, that's how that works. But you could travel up the country and then tune into whoever as you go along, kind of thing. Ships in the channel. Yeah, I've spoken to do you know, like the CBs, the base stations where you get the mic with the plugs into a power supply, like a home base CB set. I've spoken to people out in the Solent from where I am, which is down near Portsmouth, out in the sea. Portsmouth, Southampton. Yeah, that's marine. The marine channels. You get marine. I believe the marine frequencies are really low frequencies, but you can get marine radios. Yeah, if you lived, it would be quite interesting actually. All the distress ones are on these, like maritime distress. People being rescued and that, which is probably quite an interesting listen. If you lived near a coast, like Well, I don't know, I haven't got a proper marine radio, and I've thought about it because I'm not far away from Dover, as the bird flies. I'm in West Kent. If I head that way, I go to sort of Maidstone, head to Dover, Chatham, that way. Whereas if I go that way, I go to Tunbridge Wells and end up in Sussex. What coast are you on? What county are you in? So I'm pretty clued up. My dad was a submariner, so I know all about geography around the country and all the coasts. What coast are you on? My dad's also been fishing on a lot of the coasts, but yeah, my dad was a submariner in the Navy. My granddad was also a submariner. So. And I was a Sea Scout. You used to have cubs and scouts and that. Depends where you come from. Living near the sea, we're sea scouts, but you have adventure scouts as well. I don't know if we still got it. Right, and what city's that? My dad's been. Did they? I think they might have used to build. I think they could have built submarines up your way, Joe. I think my dad has been up that stretch of water that you're talking about. Yeah, the Rosyth dockyard as well. So you're Scottish, Joe, yeah? Edinburgh. Yeah, man, yeah. My dad talks very fondly of the Rosyth dockyard up there. My dad, he used to have to go from Portsmouth up to Scotland now and test out the submarines. They'd do the testing on them. And that's where they were built. The Rosyth dockyard. Yeah. Crazy. That's where all the new subs. I don't know where the new ones are made. I think a lot of it's still done there, some of the work. Because believe it or not, even though we've got a depleted army, we've actually got quite a good navy. Yeah. Yeah, we've got nuclear submarines that are out and about. They're not allowed to say where they are, though, but that was part of the secrecy. We've got quite a good... in fact, we've just sold some submarines that we're building for Australia and that. So we make very good submarines. Which is why Britain got so powerful. And well, not because of the submarines, just our power at sea. But yeah, different world on them subs. In my dad's day, my dad didn't ask to go on the subs. He got told he was going down there. But what they used to do in my dad's day, probably do now, they look for the mentally strong people, because obviously you're underwater. My dad was a bit of a Jack the Lad, so he obviously come across a bit confident, and you're going into submarines. Yeah. Yeah, been building subs for many years in Scotland up there. My dad spent a lot of time there, and in well, he used to go from there, and they used to go from there. Oh, they used to go. That's it. They used to come from Portsmouth up the English Channel, because to get into Rosyth and that, there's like channels that you go down, aren't there? It's like. They used to go up there, get the new subs, and they used to take them out up into the North Sea. What my dad did a lot of time doing was when up near the North Pole, they were under the ice spying on the Russians. Obviously, in my dad's time, it was the Cold War. So my dad did that. But yeah, they used to stop at Belfast as well. The shipyards in Belfast. But yeah, very famous shipbuilders up that way. And that place you talk about, the Firth of Forth. Yeah, my dad's mentioned that on numerous occasions. Whether you got to go up that to get to the Rosyth, I don't know. But my dad said he's been up all them little waterways there. because they do what's called, they'll build the sub and then they have what's called trials where it'll be leaking and they'll be doing up all the leaks, and for real, man, for real, submarine trials. Yeah, my dad did 15 years in now. And then my dad went down to Portsmouth and was a submarine instructor. And that's how we met my mum, who was a singer. Obviously, you've heard me talk about my mum and her records. That's how you met my mum. My dad was in the Navy, right? And he had a Scouse pal, his mate, and they were down at Portsmouth. And my mum was doing a show at Portsmouth Town Hall. And my dad's mate said, "Do you want to come and watch the Vernon's girls? My cousin's one of them." And his cousin wasn't my mum, but that's how he met my dad. Yeah, he liked it up there. I think they used to go on the piss every fucking stop though, so probably enjoyed it up there with all the jocks, do you know what I mean? Having a drink. All the sailors like to drink and a fight. They end up fighting themselves. There's no one else about to fight, especially in them days. But yeah, crazy times, man. Yeah, mate, I bet they were straight off the subs, exploring Scotland and exploring all the women and whatnot. But back in the 50s, my dad said all the girls went crazy over a uniform, so crazy. You know what I mean? It's just after the war. It was the 50s. It was a feel-good factor. But my dad'd see a couple of bits of action. But my granddad, he actually blew out of his submarine. He got washed up on a beach and found by a Chinaman. And then went to the Navy hospital, got better, then went back and got back in the submarine. And that's my Irish granddad from Ireland. He wasn't even in the army. He's got Liverpool, comes from Liverpool, and comes from Ireland, basically. I've got Irish blood, Southern Irish, English and Spanish. And with my granddad, a lot of Irish people, even though obviously they didn't like the British, they joined in. And my granddad was in the merchant navy, and what the Germans, Hitler was doing was sinking anybody. So that's when my granddad, it's how a lot of the Irish Republican Army got trained by the British, because they went and fought for them. And obviously got trained in the weaponry, but that's a different story. That's all over with anyway. Yeah, ask your mum. Older people will know. How old's your mum then? She might even know the TV programmes my mother was on. Who knows? But yeah, my granddad. I never met him. But yeah, he got blew out. In a submarine, you got escape apparatus, you see, which is a little mask which enables you to get out. 74. I'm with you. Yeah, she might have heard of the Vernon's Girls, the old boy show. Things like that. Hang on. Spike this spliff. I was sitting there waffling that for 54 minutes. And I'm up to 99%. Yeah, a bit of history for you. Yeah, my dad met my mum. 6 months later, they got married. They had a choice. My dad was just they just started to do all the nuclear submarines at the end of the 60s. And my dad could have either gone to America to train the Yanks or left. So he left, and then they came back here. They lived over the road. Well, they lived at my gran's in the next road to start with. Then they had 4 kids and lived over the road. And then I was the 5th and final last kid out in 71 when we moved into here. And I'm still here. that's a bit of my history. Yeah. I was my dad's carer for about 25 years. And trained by the NHS in end-of-life care. So I've done quite a bit of medical stuff as well in my time. But I started off as a chef and a baker. And a window cleaner. And I've worked on farms. I've done anything, do you know what I mean, to earn a few quid. But yeah, I'm trained in a few things. Obviously it's all changed now. When I learnt baking, it was proper baking with your hands, you know what I mean? It's all machines now. Yeah, my mum died when I was 10. I was only little when my mum died, so, and I kind of sort of grew very, well, I understand it now, it was the ADHD link. I grew very close to my father. Yeah. I just don't know, all the others had kids and shot off, but I always got on with my old man. To be honest, I was in a lot of bother with the old Bill and that when I was growing up. You know what I mean? I was in Young Offenders. I was actually in the Essex Boys, Hollisley Bay, before the Essex Boys even got there. I was there about 6 years before then. But my dad always stuck by me. I wasn't out mugging old women or doing anything outrageous, robbing banks. You know what I mean? I was just out driving around in my cars when I wasn't supposed to be driving and whatnot. That's what I went to Young Offenders for. Driving on a ban twice. 6 months, 3 days. And did all of that. But that was in Hollisley Bay, where the Essex Boys met. That's in Suffolk. Which was quite mad because I got in the van down my end. I'd never really travelled. Anyway, we got in the van. Everyone was talking like my kind of accent. Got out at Suffolk, and everyone's talking like Norfolk accents, sounding like country. You know what I mean? It sounded like country bumpkins to me. I thought, fucking hell, where have I landed? I spent my 18th birthday in there. And I remember just hearing all these voices, thinking, fucking hell, where the fuck have they sent me? And then I heard a few Essex voices, because I thought I was going to go to one in London, Young Offenders, but they used to put the Essex kids and the Kent kids in with the Suffolk ones and the Norfolk ones, which was miles away from where I come from. But Hollisley Bay, man, Young Offenders Institution. I think it was adult prison by the time the Essex lot got there. That's where they kind of met, them Essex boys who got blasted in the Range Rover. That's where Darren Nichols, the Supergrass, met Pat Tate. Who was in there? Jack Williams was in there, I think. A few of them was in there. I think I spoke to Brian Richardson. Craig's brother. He said he was in there when it was the Young Offenders, because he's kind of my age, I think. Yeah, crazy place. Anyway, I might tune to the boxing in a minute just to see if it's there. But I'll be back at some point. I don't think the main card starts till a bit later. I'm only interested in about two or three fights anyway. Yeah, never been to Scotland, but my dad rated it. Wouldn't mind visiting Scotland and Ireland. In fact, I probably might go to Ireland next year. Obviously, being Scottish, you might understand, but with the Irish families, you have like a clan and a tartan and all that, which you might probably be familiar with. Well, I've got, having Irish blood myself through my mum. My mum's got an Irish surname, Byrne, spelled B-Y-R-N-E. If it was Scottish, it'd be B-U-R-N, that Byrne, that way. But my mum's well, completely Irish name, Eileen, is also Irish. And I'd like to go to Ireland to visit the area that my clan are from. Which would be quite an eye-opener. Yeah. And I've got like a tartan. There's 2 tartans that belong to my family. And obviously with English history, you don't get that. You don't get the clans and all that business. You don't get the tartan and all that. But obviously, being a bit Irish, I get that. And it's quite interesting for me, actually, being English. People think I don't really consider myself British. Some people go, ugh. But not that I'm anti-Welsh or anti-Scots or anti-anything. I just consider myself English. I think Britain, really, well, you even see with Scotland and the devolution and the vote and all that. One day they'll vote out, man. We should all just be our separate entities, really. If you think about it, that's how it was years ago. But yeah, it's a few of my political views. I voted for Brexit to come out of there, but you'll find that the majority of Kent did vote for Brexit, but then we're the ones, with all the foreign stuff that's going on, we're the ones that see it. Like, obviously living in Kent, it's where they come in all them dinghies, but that's another story, man. But nah, I've got English, Irish, quite a bit of Irish in me, actually, and then Scottish. But yeah, I'd like to go into Ireland. I believe I can actually have an Irish passport, even though I've got a British one. But I'd like a dual citizenship. Not that I'd really want that, but because at the end of the day, I could never consider myself, even if I moved to Ireland, I could never consider myself Irish, as in just that. I mean, I'm English. I just happen to have Irish and Spanish blood. But my dad, he's totally English on all sides. But you'll find a lot of people from Liverpool and Manchester who've got Irish blood. No, I've never really considered myself British. I think that's slowly dying out. Britain, really, Great Britain is just a collection of islands, isn't it? If you go and ask a Welshman or a Scotsman, get your flag out and wave it, he's going to draw his national flag out and wave it, surely. Well, that's how I would, anyway. Me St George's Cross there. But we're not allowed to wave that because we're English and you get called racist. So, but I'll just tell it as it is. I'm not racist, man. I couldn't give a fuck where anyone's from, what colour they were or anything. Don't bother me. You're nice to me, I'm nice to you. You punch me, I'm going to punch you. It's as easy as that. Do you know what I mean? Crazy. I'd probably... Well, I've been in prison with them when I was in Lincoln prison. There's a lot of jocks in there. I had trouble understanding some of them. You get your pure sort of Glasgow, you know what I mean, your proper hardcore accents. But then half of them couldn't understand me because I kept talking. I talk quite quickly. But yeah, I was banged up with a geezer in Lincoln prison called Paddy, they used to call him. And he was from Tipperary in Ireland. The most funniest fucking fellow I've ever met. But yeah, crazy. Who do I support? Celtic, football. Celtic or Rangers? Celtic. Why Celtic? Would be quite obvious, really, with Irish blood. What did I think? Hello, Tucker. I've made a few videos about that, mate. What I thought of all that business. But yeah, I thought it's all right, apart from Terry Stone keep laughing all the time at everything. I think Bernard's a bit of a wanker, really, to be honest with you. The way he's treating Craig's brother, Brian. See the Colton one as well. But I did make a couple of things about that. Probably 3 or 4 videos back. Pardon me, who knows? I make so many. Yeah, I'm Celtic. Which is where Kenny Dalglish came from. Because I can remember years ago, Liverpool had Kevin Keegan, and he was leaving for Germany, and they said, "I'm never going to be able to replace Kevin Keegan." And there was a little Scottish bloke called Kenny Dalglish. And we got him in. The rest is history, man. We've had some great Scottish players, man. Alan Hansen. Some great Irish players as well. Yeah, man. I can remember I used to watch the old football results, and the Scottish ones used to come on. And I used to like all the names, like Queen of the South, and just weird names that the Scottish teams had. And I used to say to my dad, "Is that really their name?" It's crazy. The old football results, eh? At 4:45 on a Saturday. Who remembers that? My dad used to sit there with the old football pools. And I used to do Spot the Ball. Who remembers Spot the Ball? I tell you what, Tucker, Brian is the only one being conducting it. Him and Big Lee are the only ones conducting themselves with any manners, mate, really. All the others are just slagging each other off and whatnot. All Brian wants to do is find out about his brother, which is understandable. But yeah. But I think Brian said now he don't want nothing to do with Terry. Because Terry's ringing him up, trying to slate people, but he ain't doing it on his show. Do you know what I mean? They're all a bit, some of them are two-faced, I think. And to be honest, I look at Brian and the shape he looks in, and I look at Colton, and I look at Bernard and the shape he's in. My money's on Brian. Might not have been on Brian years ago, but it's on him now. But it's a shame they can't put it all to rest, isn't it? But I think there's only a few of the podcasters out there. Like, did you see Terry when he started going on about, I'm going to be bigger than James English, I'm going to be bigger than fucking everybody? You know what I mean? He's got a bit of a big head, in my opinion. Don't know what you think, but to sit there saying you're going to be better than him, and him. I'm all for competition, but sitting out there calling out your opponents, saying that you're going to be bigger than them. I don't know whether he will. I quite like James English, and I quite like the other one, Sean Atwood. They seem more serious. Terry Stone just seems like he's giggling and laughing. And I've looked at his response, because he did a response to Brian about his giggling. It seems a very strange way to deal with stuff to be giggling at everybody. Very rude as well. Do you know what I mean? That's what I think. There's a few podcasters out there that seem to giggle and just mock it a bit when... Who's the other guy? The guy that Brian said he will do it with, that he did one with. That was where he admitted to grassing his brother up. I forget the geezer's name now. There's a few of them that I think are quite serious. But if I was on the Terry Stone show talking about death of people that I knew and he's sitting there laughing and that, I'd pull him up, man. I'd have to say, well, what are you laughing about? And if you go and look, I could defunk him straight away, Terry Stone, because if you look at his videos and his interviews, he's trying to say that it's the way he deals with it, just laughing. But if you look, he cracks lots of jokes and then laughs at it after that. So he's not dealing with it, he's making fun of it. And that's how you know he's making fun of it. What do I think of the P. Diddy thing? What, him being a nonce and all that? I'm not really fully up to speed with that, to be honest with you, the P. Diddy case. But what is it? He's been touching kids or grooming kids, isn't it? Shit like that. There's another rapper. There's quite a few of them banged up, isn't there? Now, touching kids and that. Should cut their bollocks off, man. Excuse me, English. But yeah. I think James English covers that quite a bit. The P. Diddy. It's just I've been engrossed in... We had all that Colton video come out, and then you had the sort of Brian and all of that going on. So I've been watching it. And Bernard's released one. Just ripping the piss out of Brian. He's released a couple now, Bernard. Trying to make out that Brian's the bullshitter. Bernie, you're the biggest bullshitter out there, son. Do you know what I mean? That's how all the books come about. Bernie bullshitting, adding bits in. He's trying to call other people bullshitters. Unbelievable, man. But yeah. I think Big Lee, he seems to be popping up everywhere, but he ain't really being nasty, that Big Lee. Seems like he's got a bit of manners. But Bernie clearly hasn't. I'd say Terry Stone hasn't. I think Colton's got some manners. But then his argument is obviously with Terry Stone and the fact that he sold the rights away, I don't know, and all that, do you know what I mean? But I think Colton, he's had a lot to deal with, but then who is he really? Do you know what I mean? He's just a West Ham football thug. Basically. I went to the raves. He muzzled in on, they portray it one way, but I actually know the truth because I know Wayne, Anthony, and the other fella who run Genesis. Coconuts and cocaine, what's his name? In fact, I used to do a radio show. I used to play on their radio station, Genesis FM. So I'm pretty clued up on that side of it. And Colton and that just muzzled their way in on the security, which is Genesis raves. But obviously with raves, you didn't have a lot of violence. Obviously there was behind the scenes, but Yeah, I used to go to them raves, and they did a reunion, and I was part of the reunion, which Wayne did. Trying to think the other geezer's name that did Genesis. Wayne Anthony, and I know his sister as well, lovely girl. What's the other partner's name? He's got a podcast as well. He did years in prison, Cocaine and Coconuts. What's his name, man? I can't think of his name, but he came on my radio show one day. Said he thought it was really good, that what we were doing. Yeah, I've played for a few radio stations, guys. Not two-tone, rave music, old school. I played for a station called Radioactive.co.uk. I played for Genesis FM, Slammer FM, a couple of others. I should do a lot of radio shows, streaming out kind of thing. But yeah, we talked about everything. I've been on here an hour and 15 minutes. I've gone through the whole topic of me radios, records, Essex Boys, raves. Not that they had a lot of security to be doing at them raves. I had no dealings with them, but I was just there for the music, do you know what I mean? And the whole vibe of the thing. Andrew Pritchard, there you go, Tucker. You've hit the nail on the head, mate. Top marks to Tucker there. Andrew Pritchard, yeah, them two. So I'm sort of, I know about that side of it. Lovely geezers, Wayne Anthony and Andrew. They did a reunion, see, we had a reunion about 6-7 years ago in East London, and it was wild. All the old school bods, you know what I mean? There's some young ones in there as well enjoying it, but yeah, he put an all-nighter on. It was Wayne that organised that, and leading up to that, to promote it, he launched Genesis FM radio station, and that's when I got a set on now, doing a show. But yeah, that was wild. That was in, where did we go? East London somewhere. Somewhere dodgy in East London it was anyway. This little warehouse, but I'll tell you what, it was wicked. And I got this guys, done a pill, right? Got it off this geezer in the crowd, and I'll tell you what, this geezer in the queue, done a pill, and it blew my head off, man. These pills up there. And they had Colin Dale DJing, loads of DJs, man. That was wild, the reunion. It was kind of all the bods who were there in 88, there in the 2000s. It was mad. But that was a wicked night. No hassle, no nothing, you know what I mean? All went sweet as. But yeah. The good old days. He's got a charity actually, Andrew Pritchard. He helps people that coming out of prison and people with no direction, and I forget what it's called. I'll have to plug it on here. In fact, I could probably organise, which would probably be a good idea. I sit on here, see, doing me two-time, but I've actually had my fingers in a lot of pies over the years, so I wouldn't mind doing a webcast, like a chat thing with Andrew, or people that was back sort of in it then. I could probably organise that. In fact, I might send a few messages off later, see if I can, because Wayne's sister, she's a lovely girl, be nice to interview her as well. But they're all bang on people, all from East London. But I used to go, when I was a kid, I used to go South London a lot with my dad. My dad was sort of knew people that knew the craze and them kind of old school gangsters. Yeah, Genesis, Rain Dance, all them early raves, man. I've still got some flyers for them, man. I've got flyers. I show off all my two-tone stuff, but I've got rave stuff, man. Flyers and that are worth money. I should really start looking after them flyers and stuff. See, I went through two sort of musical movements in my time. Obviously, the first musical thing I got into was obviously the two-tone. I was born in 71 and that happened in 79, so I was just a little boy. I was a teenager into that, and then obviously the raves came about. You had a choice when I left school. You could either go football and have a fight, get pissed up and have a fight at the football, which was a big thing. That didn't really interest me. I thought I'd do enough fighting fucking round the village. Do you know what I mean? On my own. Let alone fucking fighting other people. I'll give that a miss. So I went to the raves, which blew my mind. I thought, fucking hell. You know what I mean? In a warehouse with 5,000 people, all black and white and green and all different colours. No one's bothering everyone. Everyone's just on the top buzz. That was when the early rave days, before the Moody Attitude and all that came in. The security geezers weren't SII trained. It was just big lumps. They were just big, scary looking dudes. Not that they used to really scare me, because I didn't really give a shit. Plus, I weren't really doing anything. I communicated quite well, so I communicated with them all. Yeah. Changing times, eh? Yeah, I'll have to see if I can get a podcast or something going. Something going. That'd be quite interesting, actually, to talk to Wayne or Andrew about them early days. It's like Terry Stone. I've got Terry Stone's bit of his magazine here somewhere with my flyers. He started off as a flyer deliverer before he went into the promoting. But I don't think Terry Stone was there from the outset of it, like I was. Me and my mates was there we used to go to parties around the M25, around London and Essex. We used to have parties just in the middle of nowhere. And this was before flyers and all that. You just used to have a phone number. And my mate Ive, God bless his soul, he ain't here no more. He used to ring the number. We used to jump into his Mark III Escort estate and head off into the countryside. You used to wind down the windows to hear the music. You didn't know where you were going. You was all fucking out your face on acid and that. You used to think, right, we'll park up here and walk towards the music. And that's what we used to do. And where there was the old bill, by the time they'd cottoned onto it, it was too late for them to do anything. So I had to just let it happen. But then I have been in raves as well with my good friend Johnny Fincham, who I met in Odyssey Bay, and my mate Mick down Margate when they'd been raided. I've been in like a rave when it's been raided. Do you know what I mean? It's crazy. Anyway, I'll be back, guys. I'll be back shortly.